Welcome back.
That was beautiful.
It's fantastic.
Episode
Keys.
19.
Episode 32. Let's go.
Episode 19er. What's going on, fellas? Working on my screens.
Watch a couple films.
2 more movies.
2 new movies.
Brand spanking new.
All right, man. This week, you two fellas chose the film.
Yeah, I
so
chose one. Keegan chose one.
Yeah.
So how it went down.
let's go.
The Proposition, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And Badlands, was it
1973.
73?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Could we do Badlands first?
Oh,
Why don't you want to?
I mean, we could. It doesn't matter.
You wanted to save it for? Do you want to talk about it? You want to have
do
the room
prop.
to?
Do the prop. Let's do the prop first, then. Yeah, that's right.
I think he wants room to work.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
Keep that smile on your face. Now go ahead, continue.
Okay.
Proposition. Let's go.
I can talk about it a little bit if you want, man.
Yeah.
It's my movie. I got a little list of shit here I can do.
Okay.
All right, so it's Proposition 2005. It's directed by John Hillcoat, who hasn't done a ton of movies. He actually did the adaptation of Cormac McCarthy's The Road,
Okay.
which I've only ever walked out of twice.
Okay.
It was for like a free ticket kind of situation, but I was being a little douchebag about it. I just read the book, and so I already kind of didn't like him, I guess, in some ways. But not to spoil, I like this movie. But his rest of his directorial output has been kind of just hit or miss. So it's been only like 4 more movies. It's written by Nick Cave,
I saw that.
who also did the score
Yeah.
with Warren Ellis. Do you know Nick Cave?
Yes, I do.
Kind of I only know like Into My Arms and some other stuff, but I know of him more than I actually know his music.
same.
Of him, right?
But it's still kind of interesting to know that this
And
is a
Warren
script
Ellis,
by him.
too. Like,
yeah.
He's part of the Bad Seats, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's just on soundtrack duty, but it's
Yeah.
Nick Cave wrote the script, which is kind of interesting. Multi-talented, I guess. Stars Guy Pearce, Ray Winstone, Danny Houston, and I think Emily Watson.
Correct.
With a little
Correct.
John Hurt in
John
there, too.
Hurt's in there, yeah.
And yeah, it's a little revenge tale, in 1800s Australia. How y'all feel about this?
So why'd you recommend it, you think?
If I remember correctly, the thought pattern was you had said
a
we
good
had
Western.
did a Western.
Right.
And you had brought up, obviously unrelated to this, but you brought up Altman. So I was thinking about McCabe and Miss whatever that was.
Miss Miller.
Yeah. And then I just kind of from there, I think I was thinking about Guy Pearce or something, and I just remembered this movie was a thing because I'd seen like the first half of it under kind of like spurious circumstances, like about like 10 years ago or something. I just kind of wanted to revisit it, but it was that thought process that brought me to it, just doing like a weird Western or something for the first time, I guess.
Well, I would say like I watched it about a week ago.
Yeah.
And what I got off top from it, because I've seen a lot of Westerns. I love Westerns. And I was like, this is like an anti-Western.
Yeah,
in a way.
it's a weird. I wouldn't say it's completely different because you're still throwing like it's still like a kind of a white people in a weird environment dealing with like dealing with a native group a little bit, or at least that's kind of what's actually happening in the real world there, I guess.
I think it subverts expectations a little bit because like, I mean, the story is much broader than what it usually is. I mean, Westerns, bro, it's like a revenge story. Or it's a man with no name comes into town.
It's definitely not like the traditional like beats of like, oh, there's kind of a hero dude and he has all these. It's a little more, I guess, like artsy and weird than that.
A little gray area.
But one of the things I like about it is it does take place in Australia in the 1880s, and that's heavy in like penal colony situation. So these are British people that have been sent here for
they're fucking savages.
like a certain amount of crimes they've fucking committed, and they're butchering the fucking Aboriginals or whatever the natives of Australia are called. And they have actual native actors in it of that, like at least like 3 of them of that. And supposedly it's a pretty accurate depiction where they deal with them. I don't want to speak on that too much because I have no idea. I just read a little blurb that said that, but like hopefully, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's fucking weird. I like the violence. It's a crazy thing to say, but some of the like.
Bro, honestly, dude, I like the whole like. Okay, so spoilers. I like the film, quite a lot.
Yeah.
And what I liked look at Keeks.
I liked it.
Okay. I don't know. You never know with your face, but at the end when
I'm worried when I pick a movie sometimes. Fucking.
I liked it. I felt like I was confused for some of it, but like you were kind of saying, it's not like your typical Western, But go ahead. You were saying that.
The Charlie, right? Is that
the kid he's trying to save? Or?
No. Charlie is the main
Guy
character.
Pearce's
Guy
character,
Pearce's
yeah.
character,
Okay.
right? So at the end, when you have the guy that was in the gang with Guy Pearce's brother,
Yeah.
and he comes up to Charlie at the end, he's like, "You guys should have never left," and I was like, "No, you guys should have never went and raped and killed that family."
Yeah, they're definitely going overboard with some of the crimes they were
Wait, you're
committing.
talking about the brother when he's talking to the brother at the end?
Yeah, he didn't. This line didn't come from the brother. It came from the one of the minions up under the brother
Okay.
in the gang. And
Yeah, that younger dude.
the younger
yeah,
dude
yeah, yeah.
that was trying to get his rape on.
Uh-huh,
at the
yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah.
He was like, "You guys should have never."
He
left."
shoots him in the head. It's like before he kills Danny Houston's character.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually did get clips. I just forgot until just now. But was it this guy? Let me see.
That black bastard's head right up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely
it.
him.
Was that
Little
guy?
fucker.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he
Yeah.
walked up to Guy Pearce and he's like, "This is after they get back to town and his brother died. The youngest one dies from the fucking lashes." He's like, "See, you guys should have never left us." And it's like, "Nah, you niggas should have never went up and raped that and killed that
And
family."
see, I was kind of confused until
He was gonna
like
get blown away by the police no matter what.
I was
Yeah.
kind of confused,
Yeah.
like
Whatever the.
because like when it starts and like they kind of present the brother as like a cool guy,
Yeah.
you know, and like until like the very end, I was kind of
Yep.
confused. I'm like, you never like they're kind of alluding to this woman and how she was like raped and murdered. Or,
Yeah, there's
Right.
But it's like
some sort of crime
family.
scene that's been
and
left
it's like
behind.
someone in the
Right.
family did it, but it's like it wasn't the youngest one, and like I wasn't thinking it was the like I didn't know what happened. You
It's
know,
yeah, I
like,
think the
I
idea
like
is
the
that
mystery of it.
it sounds like they were all a gang doing
Yeah.
these crimes, and at one point they encountered some sort of family, and Danny
I think
Houston's character took it too far, probably
Yep.
with that younger guy, and they raped and killed them all and left this crime scene,
Yep.
and then got into encounter with the police that separated them, and that's when they were able to offer him the proposition
It's
to go take
either
out his
that
brother.
or
It's
they
very
sp-
Red Dead Redemption. Where,
Right.
I did-
Yeah,
I did
because
make a note of that.
I just beat Red Dead Redemption 2, but both of those games are about the very first Red Dead Redemption is about specifically this: the government offers John Marston the opportunity to spare himself any more problems and to go kill his former gang leader,
I thought-
Dutch Vanderland.
Oh, that was part of Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, well, one. So one is the sequel to two.
Yeah, one
It
is
takes place after. So you
okay.
play as this guy.
Thanks for spoiling.
It's not a
it.
spoiler, man. It's
I
you'll
had
know
read-
right from the beginning.
I read something that this movie has a connection to Red Dead. Is that true?
I have no idea.
John Hillcoat, he directed the promotional half-hour short
Oh
film.
yeah, there was some sort of webisode or something he
Right.
did. I guess that was like I don't know what that
Something
is
like
though. It's
that,
some
but-
weird little thing. Yeah.
But definitely, you could tell that whoever wrote this loves fucking westerns because to me it just
Nick Cave.
Nick Cave.
Evidently, yeah.
To me, it just I love the mystery aspect of it. Like, all right, what happened to these three graves and this family with this burnt down house? All right, did you guys really go up in there and rape and do this and do that?
And the way that they were presented, like the whole time, I'm just like, okay, it couldn't have been Charlie. And then like when they introduced the brother, like
the
he's
cool
kind
one.
of like such a badass. Like,
the Jason Momoa looking guy.
yeah, it's like it couldn't have been
Danny
him.
Houston.
Like,
I guess I kind of always
he's all
perceived him as
philosophical and shit.
Yeah, to me, I guess the thing was
yeah,
But you know who he reminded me of? Fucking what's the name in Apocalypse Now?
it's been a long time.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Kurtz.
That's the whole thing. And Kurtz is the same way. He's obviously some guy that's out there doing
1,000-yard
violent shit. Yeah.
That
But he's all
1,000-yard
philosophical.
stare.
Yeah.
And he's fucking.
The snail on the razor blade or whatever. Well, I don't know. I kind of felt like that dude was the bad guy from the beginning because the proposition is like, hey, this dude sucks enough that we're willing to let y'all go, actually,
Right.
if you can deliver him. And then the whole thing is he's like just one of those like violent hippie dudes. He's out there preaching
Yeah.
all this shit about like all
Cult
this.
leader
And the
type
moment he
shit.
gets you, he slow stabs you or something.
Or
you
cuts
know?
your head off.
Yeah, or something like
Or he
brutal.
pulls
or-
up a chair and lets his little buddy rape your wife.
Yeah,
And he's
exactly,
sitting
you
there
know.
drinking.
I think you're only really presented him like that way. I don't know, just has kind of a counterpoint to what he really is. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's anything too much deeper than that, but I got the
I
vibe
like the
he was
nuance
bad
of
guy.
it. I like that none of these characters were black and white.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot, especially.
Well, that's the whole idea. They're sending
Oh.
criminals after other criminals.
One of my notes was, I guess, I don't know. I didn't make a note of his name, but the police
Ray
guy,
Winstone.
Ray Winstone, yeah.
I made a note that he looked like Nick from MDE.
Really?
A little bit. I can kind of see it, yeah.
I swear this guy looked like Russell Crowe to me.
He does have that vibe there. I think of him as his role in The Departed. I don't know if you.
I haven't seen
He's
it
like,
yet.
It's been a long
oh,
time.
okay. He's like this. He
The
has this
Departed's
encounter with Leo in a bar where like he beats up a guy because he has this thing where he like asks him if he like wants cranberry juice or something. I don't even remember that scene.
No,
He's really
I
good
don't.
at it though. He's like
I just remember like
he's the main
Jack
enforcer
Nicholson
of Jack Nicholson. He's like his right hand man.
Hey,
I just remember like Marky Mark walking in and being
Dude,
like,
there's so
"Aw."
many. Dude, one of my favorite lines is that it's like Alec Baldwin. They're like snooping on someone's lines and like to listen to their phone calls. He's like, Patriot Act, Patriot Act. He's so excited to have access.
I do remember. I forget who it was, but he's like, I think it's Marky Mark. He's like, I'm the guy that does his job.
Fucking
Who are you?
Yeah. It sounds like yeah, exactly. That's definitely him.
Yeah.
Marky Mark.
did you guys like John Hurt's character in here as the fucking bounty hunter?
Yeah,
old
the
bounty
scrappy
hunter?
little bastard drunk like bounty hunter.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
He wakes up getting choked by him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets slow stabbed.
He was a little crafty little bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was
like that.
interesting.
Yeah, all these characters, man. To me, I thoroughly enjoyed the exploration of some of the characters, like the wife. She's all fucking bloodthirsty to get the fucking
there's-
kid
that
lashed.
kind of annoyed me
That
because
annoyed
like she was
me,
like she
yeah.
was like definitely go lash him to death, and then
then-
afterwards she was like,
This shit
"Oh,
gross.
you lashed him to death." I'm like, "You make me sick."
Oh, actually, yeah.
I
but yeah,
made you do it, but
that did
it
annoy
pissed
me.
me off a
That
little
did
bit,
annoy me.
yeah.
I was like, you the last one who gets to cry or pass out. Wake up.
Guaranteed it would happen. Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, one of the things I noted about this movie is like the commitment to these guys are letting flies land on like their
Oh,
eyelids
everything.
and lips. Like Emily Watson lets one crawl across her like eyelashes. I'm like, that must have taken a little bit of like training for some of them because most people would just be like immediately be like, oh, you know,
Bro,
freak out and get it off them.
Australia was a character in this movie.
Yeah, I had no idea it had that fly presence.
Me
Because you know
neither.
you see that in like National Geographic shit, kind of like in Africa footage of people hanging out. I
You
mean,
had to say it.
Dude, when I saw
but it is what it is. It's the
Yeah,
only
you
time
had-
I'd
it
ever
is what
seen
it
that. It's the only time I ever seen a fly crawl across someone's pupil. Is like some dude in a fucking.
you know when you see them
you know.
nets over them beds,
yeah,
shit's
it is
bad.
what it is. So I didn't expect them to like. I don't even know if they had to like recreate that in some way. Or
I think
if-
that was natural.
Yeah, I was just kind of blown away by how much they're just on.
Yeah.
It
There
looked-
was like
it
a
looked
scene
great
where
to
like
me.
I think where they were like watching the
Yeah.
prisoners come up and like they were all on the clothes.
The shots of their
Yeah.
like backs, they were like
Yeah.
covered in them. Yeah, I just thought that, but the shots that just crawled across the face, I just appreciated that commitment.
I did have.
I like that.
Let me see what else I had in the clippage.
But a little piece of filth.
And
She's a farmer's daughter. Can she cook a good lamb stew?
Just stop it.
I love
The first one was what I say to myself in the mirror first thing in the morning.
what this one.
But a little piece of filth.
Yep, right when I wake up.
I say that when I'm anyway.
Yeah,
I love that.
She's a farmer's daughter. Can she cook a good lamb stew?
Just stop
You
it.
know, another
Cook a
thing.
good
I,
lamb stew.
This is also a Christmas movie,
seriously, that's
just so you
incredible.
know,
Oh,
and not in any kind of real meaningful way. In the bullshit way where it takes
Place
Yeah.
during Christmas, which I guess in
Yeah.
Australia looks just like fucking.
They did break out the tree I
at the
barely-
end,
I
yeah,
barely
they had the
remember
Christmas dinner.
that. You know, another thing I
that
liked
ended up
about
being the rape table.
the yeah, the lashing scene.
Yeah.
I just like that slowly the humanity crept into the crowd.
Everyone hated that
everyone
shit
was
after a
like,
while.
"Oh, this shit's gross. Like,
getting
everybody
a little-
about face and got the fuck
Yeah,
out of there.
started getting dark for them too. Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the little, the sniggly little governor guy. I forgot this motherfucker.
Yeah, that dude that looked like one of the Lost Weasleys.
Yeah, the fucking bow tie guy.
Yeah, he looked
whatever.
like Domhnall Gleeson or
Oh,
something, but he wasn't.
He got
This
his
guy?
just desserts.
A little piece of filth.
There you
Oh,
go.
it was him. Yeah,
Mr.
it was
Piece
that
of Filth
dude, yeah.
himself.
I
Yeah.
think his name was maybe like Percy or something.
I forgot his name. He was a piece of shit though.
Yeah. The actor's
David
name-
Wenham.
Yeah.
Yes, Eden Fletcher.
Oh.
Eden Fletcher. Overall, just to I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Quite honestly, I was very surprised. I had never heard of this film. When Australian movies, I turn the motherfucking subtitles on because I don't know what the fuck they're saying sometimes.
As long as you have to, man.
I love the scenery. The setting. I mean, just Australia itself is. I think it's a great setting. Like, it's just so unique of a place. The actors really did a great job, and the script and the story. Hey, I love westerns, bro. this took a couple left turns, and I was, oh shit, you got me. You know, hey, I think it's a good film, man.
You liked it, huh? All
I
right,
think it's
all
a good
right.
film. And the music was great.
Yeah, it did have an interesting, had a lot of like spoken word songs playing,
Yeah.
whispered. Nick Cave, you didn't like that?
I was not a
Damn,
huge
dude.
fan of that.
Okay, so I'll tell you a story about this movie. So we were kind of talking about this
And
earlier.
then there was like
actually.
a point where it kind of got like extreme,
What do you mean?
like the same.
Oh,
the same
yeah,
song.
yeah. Okay, so
I particularly did not like it.
I
in that
got
part.
shown this movie by some roommates when I lived out with some friends, and before this movie, I had been introduced to marijuana for one of the first times in that crazy form we were describing earlier.
Mike. This is a family-friendly show.
Cigarettes. I was smoking cigarettes for the first
Okay,
time,
thank
and then
you.
I went and sat down and watched this movie with him, and I mean, I fell asleep sitting straight up, and the last thing I remember was just like seeing that, like whatever that spoken word shit was, and just going to sleep, like having an actual little bit of a moment, and then be like, and like falling asleep. So I only saw like the first third of the movie, and that's all I remembered was like that moment of just him riding on the horse with the whispering in the background, and I was like, I'm out.
Okay.
And I went to sleep sitting up. So that was, I kind of seen some of it, but not in a particularly normal state at the time.
Oh, so you hadn't seen it?
No, I
You've
hadn't.
seen it
No.
since
I
then?
knew about it. Well, yeah, just for this video though. No, I hadn't. I watched it fully just for the first time
Oh, okay,
recently.
cool.
Yeah, so I hadn't seen it.
So none of us had seen it.
Yeah. No, I hadn't
Wow,
seen it. I would
good
say
shit.
officially I had not seen it. I just seen the
Okay.
first less
I
than
like
the first
doing
half
that
of
sometimes.
it.
I
In a
like recommending a movie I ain't seen.
I saw the
same.
first half of it in a confused state about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I can say for sure. No, I like it too. I don't know. Are we messing up the format here?
Yeah,
just
if
give
you
it a
wanna-
score, man,
if you
because
wanna
you,
give it a
kind of
score.
went on a.
Oh, my bad.
No, I feel like it's just worth doing, and I'll go on my spiel and give it a score and
Shit, I give it a fucking 86.
fucking 86.
Yeah, fuck it.
Based on okay.
I mean, it's 86. I think it's quite an enjoyable film. I can't think of a crowd who wouldn't like this motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's why
I can think of a couple people,
Look at this
but
fool. Look at this.
yeah, this guy right here.
face.
But no, I can. I'm not a.
God.
Yeah. I mean, I
Come
can.
on.
I didn't hate it. I did not.
I'm
hate
a little
it.
bit. I'm not as far from you as like you think, because I don't know. I'll talk about it. Let me talk about it.
Yeah,
and
I
you
mean,
can give-
I could go.
Yeah,
Okay,
expound,
go.
Expound, baby.
I thought it was good.
Maybe an 80.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to change your scores. I like I said, there were some things that I was kind of confused about. Like listening to you guys talk about it has kind of made me appreciate it a little bit more. And I think it's kind of hard for me to not like think about it in context of like our other movie Badlands that we're gonna get to.
Yeah.
I watched this one first, and I watched both of them. I guess today is what. What's today? Tuesday. Yeah, I watched both of them Saturday, and it's just like I've thought about
Wednesday.
Badlands a lot more since then. So I liked it. I'm gonna
13.
go like 78.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Ballpark.
78.
It was a begrudging 78, but it sounds.
I mean, listening to you guys made me like it a little bit more, like, and just the fact that we've discussed it at this length, you know what I mean? Like, I remember kind of like in some previous episodes, like, people have given certain movies certain scores, and I felt like it was a little low. And it's like, I think any movie that, like, you can discuss at length, you know, like,
Yeah.
gets a certain,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Also, it falls back on the idea of a scoring system is already limiting. Like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
a fun thing at the end.
Yeah,
I would say
for
what we
sure.
say about it is more the score than the actual number, because ultimately, I don't think about life that way. So
course.
after I'm done saying everything, I go, "Oh fuck, I got to think of a
And-
number," and then I come up with one on the spot.
We
you
all
know,
would
because it's
also recommend this movie as well.
yeah,
you
definitely.
know.
And I will watch it again.
Definitely watch it again.
yeah. I mean, well, I guess of how I feel about it is I liked it, but I'd say it's still, to me, it's kind of a simple story. I wouldn't say I was really confused about anything. To me, it was just kind of you know, there's these bad guys, and this one dude's got to go get the other dude, and it's that simple. But
I guess
the in
it was,
between,
I guess a little part of me like couldn't accept that they were bad just because the way they were portrayed.
Yeah, you
I
thought that
just
guy
like,
was out there being
I
dope
didn't know
as
who
hell.
was bad
Yeah,
till
I
the
was
end.
like-
Yeah.
I didn't know
until
who was
the
bad
end.
till the end.
I think that is kind of the
Same,
idea.
same.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I like that about it.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe
to me,
I
that's
just-
what the mystery. When I say mystery, I mean like, okay, none of these characters are striking me as.
Everyone's an anti-hero.
At first, I thought like, shit, maybe the cops burnt down that family's.
Yeah, but maybe that's my maybe that's where I fucked up. I just trusted that dude was like, hey, that guy's worse, so you go get him. And so I was on
Right,
board with it
right.
from the get go. I was like, all right, cop, I believe you.
My
Maybe I fucked up there.
anti-copness kicked
No, I
in.
should have been. I should have been better about that, man. I fucked up. I need to look in the mirror and think about that. 'Cause I just believe that dude.
You trust the police?
I was like, yeah, we got to go kill that guy. Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was a simple plot, but I kind of like it's almost artsy for like artsy sake sometime, And yeah, you're right. When like they're right, it looks dope, and the Western environment is cool. It's not that far from like a normal Western, to be fair. Like visually, it is still like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the fucking desert, all right. It's a
Yeah.
little more red. That one's yellow,
Yeah.
but like
Right.
You
and
seen
there's
one
a-
desert? You've
there's
seen
like
them
a
all.
not to like disparage, like obviously the Aboriginal people have like a whole fucking different thing going on, but there is still a replacement for like in a lot of those movies. There's like a native presence.
There's a native presence,
and
right.
it's a lot of. It feels still kind of, even though it's a weird Western. I don't know if its setting makes it so much weird as like they've made it weird. Like they kind of like the Nick Cave stuff is a little like the spoken word kind of music.
Yeah.
It felt a little corny, I guess, when it happens to me. It didn't like mesh with like a vibe or anything I stayed with. I was like, oh, that's kind of. It took me out of the movie for just a second, because I was just not in a big deal, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily love the soundtrack in that way. But for me, I don't know. I like the like sudden moments of like violence. You don't really know what's going to happen. So like when he's walking
Right.
through the valley and he takes one of those like
Oh,
native Aboriginal spears
to the fucking chest.
yeah, and it
Oh.
kind of slides back on it, and then a head explodes
they
immediately
mud it up.
afterwards.
Get
Yeah,
that mud on
You
there.
know,
and just like the weird turn, and I'm a sucker for Western movies. So to
Me
get
too.
a new one that's kind of weird and it's well done, and it's got great performances all
Mm-hmm.
around, and actors who went on to do a lot more things. It's just a good it's not as good to me as like Unforgiven or some of the classic like, spaghetti westerns or something,
And
but
you-
it's a good one to have laying there, available to watch amongst that list of films.
To me, also, it's hard to create new Western stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's such a genre that had like they have the same. They have beats.
Yeah.
They have
Also,
things that you follow.
The
all
best
the time.
of best Western movies are also something your average viewer is not going to want to go watch. Like these
The
old
Bad,
Clint
the
Eastwood
Ugly.
movies,
Yeah, the Good, the
or
Bad,
even
and the
something
Ugly.
slightly worse, like some of the Wyatt Earp stuff or something.
Magnificent
Yeah.
Seven.
It's just like those old movies are not. They have aged a little bit, and it's a little bit like you're supposed to be cheering for a hero as a kid in like the '60s watching these things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a more contemporary, weird one for someone to watch with a slightly different
Yeah.
Definitely.
environment.
Keep the genre
is a
going.
unique thing that I
Yeah.
like to have going. Yeah, especially given that it's hard to find them. People aren't really doing them that often.
Right, they ain't doing them. Yeah.
So yeah, I did enjoy it. There are aspects of it I don't like, but all in all, yeah, I like this movie. I'm just trying to find something like I don't love it, but I'm also struggling to find negative things to say about it. Even though I'm a little just I don't know, cold about it. I guess.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a score. I just feel like I gotta.
Score it up.
God, the scoring system. Man. I'm
You
gonna give it.
got
I'm gonna
to-
give it. I'm gonna give it. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 78.
There you go, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 78.
What a little piece of
Twins. Another clip I wish you would have gotten was you got the wrong black man.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, when he takes
That-
out the Uncle Tom.
That Luis Guzman looking dude.
Yeah, bro, look like Louis Goose.
Yeah.
You got the wrong black man.
All right.
I like that shit. Well, all right, that was the proposition 2000
There you go, 2005. Check it out if you want to see
Going
like a
back
weird
in
Western.
time.
Going to Keegs movie.
30
73.
years.
Yeah.
Badlands.
Badlands.
Terrence Malik.
Yeah.
Terrence Terrence Malick, man.
Tell me, son, why'd you recommend this here?
I don't know. I chose it like right after our last episode. I was kind of thinking about Three Women,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, you
I
brought
just
that
made like
up.
a little pivot. And I haven't seen either's. So
Have you heard about this movie as much as I had like before actually watching it?
I I've just heard that it's a Terrence Malick movie.
I
I
guess
didn't know
that's
that it
maybe
was
the
his
same
first.
thing. Yeah, I was a little confused by his whole career actually once I
and
looked into
I
it.
kind of, I was under the impression that it kind of had more of a story, and
Yeah.
I read like the little plot line on Wikipedia, so I was like, oh, that kind of seems like it has like a definitive story. When we used to work at a theater,
Yes.
Tree of Life.
I was gonna say my entire.
there.
Yeah.
So
I went. Yeah.
That was like a very divisive movie.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
kind of to
time.
me. That's what he was
Yeah.
too. So, because I'd only ever seen, I've seen Thin Red Line.
I haven't seen that.
Okay,
So
I
I
s-
think that was like right after this. Maybe.
No, that's what's kind of crazy about it is he does this Days of Heaven and then
Okay.
doesn't do shit for like 20 plus years,
Oh wow.
and then waits another
Wow.
10 something, and you get like
Tree of Life.
one movie that's kind of a normal film, and then Tree of Life. There's a huge. He's only
Yeah.
made like he only made like 5 films, and then after Tree of Life, he started dropping them like crazy.
I saw that he was a professor of philosophy at MIT
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
bit. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
And he also like is kind of sort of off and on from around these parts in certain ways, like
Yeah,
Austin,
that he
I
like
guess.
grew up
in
in Texas. He's not from Texas, but grew
Yeah,
up in Texas
yeah,
or
spent,
something,
like,
something
time
like
That
that.
here.
explains the Tree of Life scene with the church.
Yeah, it's
from,
like
Yeah, it's
downtown
filmed
and then
in and around
it's
that,
got a lot
yeah.
of a couple scenes in Dallas. But anyways, I remember thinking that movie was cool. I remember a lot of people like
Very
not
divisive,
liking it,
yeah.
and some people like. I remember one coworker saying like, "Oh, it's just like a bunch of screensavers or stuff like that." You know,
It's definitely an abstract series of
or
scenes.
I
Sometimes
was looking up like
Your boy
because
was
like
listening, you know.
Terrence Malick doesn't really do interviews, so I was just like looking for clips of different stuff of him on YouTube, and there was a clip of William Friedkin talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
him,
yeah,
and he he was talking. I guess it was the movie that he did with Ben Affleck. I don't even know the name, but he was like William Friedkin saying like, "I'm watching a movie and." It's two people having a conversation and it goes to a tree. And I'm like, why is it going up a tree? I'm pretty sure like
That's like one of the ones after Tree of Life.
Yeah,
where there was
or
like a
s-
million movies back to back. They
and
were
he's
like
just
that.
like that's like the most basic thing is if people are talking, you keep the camera on the people.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, I love seeing like that he's kind of like shitting on him, but this movie I really like.
This is more traditional
Yeah,
compared to especially Tree of Life.
Yeah, I dare I say loved this movie.
Oh shit,
Holy
that's a big word to choose to use.
But yeah, how did you guys feel?
I liked it. I wouldn't use the term love. There are like some old movie like things in it, like it's voiceover, which is weird because it's kind of something it's popular for.
I love the voiceover
See,
in it.
I
love it.
I started to, can't even fucking do it, but something about it, like something, it just kind of got to me a little bit. And it's very,
Oh, sissy SpaceX shit.
yeah. Oh, lizard face.
I
It's,
love Sissy Spacek.
I do too, but she does look like an alien a little bit.
Does look like a
Some of
big-
these older actors, the actresses had like a different look to them, and it's obviously not anything worthwhile. But I just thought she was kind of a lizardian a little bit, but it didn't have anything to do with it.
definitely good.
Well, come on, man.
fucking-
What the fuck? She's got gills. Come on.
Gills.
I mean,
Fucking
man,
Waterworld.
She could definitely catch a fucking fly with her tongue or something for sure, and that's
Wow.
cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
No, I
She's
actually thought
a-
she is good in this, but something about, I guess that narration kind of grates on me sometimes.
I really like the narration. I felt like it kind of because I mean I think it's like such a like absurd, you know, like early on I'm kind of just like what's motivating her to like go
Stay
along with
around,
this,
yeah.
you know, and like I think one of the clips I got let me see. I'm not sure what's where, but
I guess that the way she was kind of doing stuff kind of bugged me in the same way I said Emily Watson sort of action sort of bugged me. Someone like going along with something past the point. Like it was pretty crazy already, and she sort of went along with it. And then she's like, "No, he's the most bloodthirsty person I've ever met." You know, I guess I just sort of after a while I sort of I don't know what the fuck I'm trying
let me
to
see.
do. The fuck is it?
Oh, not that clip.
Did it go the way it's supposed to?
Yeah.
Is that all there is to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene.
He just had to take some people out occasionally.
Yeah, but that was the scene where like he deflowered her.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. That was That was actually they did that. They
yeah.
did that very much off screen too. It was just kind of they went in and then right. It was like it wasn't super.
Yeah,
and then
it wasn't
Kind of came out
graphic.
talking about it. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh damn, yeah.
It was kind of quick.
Damn.
Let me
He's
see.
a little guy.
Had that kid.
I never thought about that.
Little
He
Martin
says
Sheen.
frog I
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah, that was the scene I was talking about. Let me play it again.
But, yeah.
Had that kid. He says frog I jump.
That was the scene where like they had the couple and he like takes them down to the basement.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just like I was kind of just like at that point because like they had already killed the dad, and like she's kind of just like there watching it, you know, and it's like she's just along for the ride, you know. And
yeah,
like,
she was.
But like when she says that, I'm just like, okay, it's like she's gonna do whatever he wants to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she loves him to that level, and it's like that's how it is, you know. What
I will
mean?
actually say, especially, I've seen and interacted with like some younger people who have had a similar situation where they did like meet an older guy and they ended up having sex with him and like getting him, and after that it was just like on to the
roller
life of
coaster.
crime, onto the
Yeah.
roller coaster. Yeah, here comes the crazy
Yeah.
standing by. I mean,
Like-
usually like they can get themselves out of it, but I think this is definitely an extreme version of that.
Yeah, and it's like based on like that
Killing
saw
spree.
That, what's his name?
There was-
Charles Shark
yeah.
It's an actual.
Starkwater and Carol Ann Fugate.
Well-
He was 19, she was 14.
Another thing is that I mean, the Sissy SpaceX character is a child. She's supposed to be a child.
Yeah.
And she is a child. So the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, I mean, that's some shit a child would do. I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's definitely-
I guess I'll just go along with you murdering people.
It's
you know?
definitely the girl like who's young running along with the older bad boy.
Bad boy.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's definitely
And,
that vibe.
Like they even talked about. I watched a cool interview that was Sissy Spacek, Jack Fisk, who is her husband, and Martin Sheen, and he was kind of talking about like when they first leave and like they build the tree house and like he's like
that
doing
tree
all the
house was
training.
crazy as
That shit
hell.
was
He was kind of
Crazy,
talking about how
wasn't it?
like
Should've just
because
stayed
she's
there.
a child, like they wanted to like have this sort of like wonderment and like this sort of
Right.
enchanted.
Something weird
Right.
happened in that scene.
Someone comes and the guys come and sees them and
No, but
Yep.
I want.
Oh, but what
did
do you
you
mean?
notice something? Whenever they're at the treehouse area and those he calls them bounty hunters show up that he has the firefight with and kills. When she's looking out at the people moving in the leaves after he knows them, she doesn't just see people. For 1 second, there's a fucking llama out there. Did you not see that shit?
No,
I'll
didn't
show
even
you the
notice
clip. I
that.
recorded
Yeah,
my
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Just for
Okay,
1
yeah,
second,
yeah.
there's not just the guys running around.
There's a
There's a
llama.
llama is out in the woods for
Wow.
one scene. I guess
know-
it's like a childish wonder. It might even be that. She's not just seeing those
Yeah.
killers coming. She's seeing like a goofy
I'm
ass
having a
animal.
weird
She's like,
flashback in my head. I think you might be right.
I know I'm right, dude. I
I
got
thought
visual
you were-
video proof. I rewound it,
I didn't
dude.
even notice that.
Yeah, it's just a weird little thing that he threw in this alpaca or llama or something.
Another thing about Sissy Spacek's character is like her reaction to her father being murdered. It made me feel like, okay, maybe she's got some kind of disassociative
I will say, yeah, it's
personality, because you can't chalk everything up to being young and dumb. Like if you're 14 and your dad gets murdered in front of you by the love of your life or whatever, you still gonna be like, you know, like what the fuck?
I think some traumatic things could happen where maybe like stick with them to a certain extent, but
She's
in this
kinda
movie
dead
it just kind of
inside.
seemed like they didn't really play up on that like too much. She never came to terms with that in any like
She's kinda
way
dead
on
inside,
screen, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
And how she's just like right with him up until she's not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, it's enough. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what this
Yeah.
movie reminded me of in a big time is when he's at the end of it and he's been caught and he's just kind of chilling with everybody and talking to them and being funny. You remember the Chappelle Show skit where it's like trading places? It's like Tron gets give him like a scheduled date where he can show up to the courthouse.
Yeah,
And they put
yeah.
the white guy gets like flash bang and they shoot his dog and they take him in. They're like he's like peeing because they're interrogating him so hard.
Yeah, I remember
But then
that
the other
shit.
dude, they're like bringing like a cheese platter for him
I
to
do.
eat.
Yeah.
He's getting like they're like, hey man, you know, they're just being really nice. The way they treated this dude.
At the end, right?
Yeah, like they're just like, yeah, man, you rock. But I guess he just went on like a
apparently,
worldwide, like like a televised killing spree. That he's kind of like almost popular, probably at that
apparently
point.
the real guy wasn't he? Cage, if you know, was he charismatic? The real guy.
I think I did see that, but yeah, like the part at the end where like he kind of gives up and he like builds the little statue with the rocks. I kind of
yeah.
didn't get
Yeah.
that, but they were
I
talking
didn't
about like
understand
how
that
that was like
There's gonna be a monument
It's like
one
where
day.
I got caught.
yeah, exactly. Like he was it kind of goes into like his vanity and like
Yes.
how self-important he was, or
Yeah.
even like
Even
the
at
scene.
the beginning.
There's a scene where like they make a time capsule, but they don't even call it that. It's
Yeah.
like they're like, we're gonna bury some stuff because we'll
gonna be
come
famous.
back
Come
to
get
it,
it some other
or
day.
it would just be crazy if some people in the future found it.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
and
you'll
it's
be that important that in 30 years they'll be like,
Yeah,
damn,
it's
this is
just like-
kits.
And like
This
when
was
he's
kid
got the
stuff.
lighter, he's like, I've had this for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Who wants it?
Well, weird thing I thought about the movie is that
Oh,
when I
that
was
was
reading
funny.
about
That
Martin
was funny.
Sheen, evidently he's heavily inspired by James Dean. And he looks like James Dean,
Yeah,
acts like
and
James
they-
Dean. And in this movie, they refer
They
to him as being
acknowledge it,
like
yeah.
James Dean constantly.
Even
He's also a
before-
short little scrappy
Little
bastard.
bastard.
I
Before
didn't
they
really-
even say it, I'm like, why does he look exactly like James
Yeah.
Dean? Like,
Dean, yeah.
Also, I want to say something real quick. Martin Sheen's birth name is Ramon Gerard Antonio Estevez.
Yeah,
I
just
see.
like
That's
Charlie
why.
Sheen.
That's why Emilio kept that name, and they're also
Emilio.
both in the film. When she looks out and sees those like two kids, like with their backs to the thing, like I don't remember the content. She's like staring at these kids for a second outside the window.
Yeah.
it's just both of them.
And she says, like,
It's
I
Charlie
wonder
and-
when one day we'll have.
Yeah, it's Charlie and
And
Emilio.
Emilio.
Mighty Ducks.
that young tiger blood.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah.
Before the
Terrence
HIV.
Malick also has a nice little scene.
I didn't know
You
he was
know
in
that?
it. No.
So when they go to the rich guy's house and they're like camped out,
Uh-huh.
the guy who comes to the door and he's like, "Oh, I have an appointment with them."
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't know that was Terrence Malick.
was
Yeah, that
Terrence
guy. He's kind
Malick,
of shady
and-
about it. He's like,
and-
well, he just called me yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then right when he comes back in, he's like, "We gotta go."
Yeah.
But apparently he did that like as a fill-in and wanted someone else to redo it. But like,
Yeah.
it ended up just being him. And I also saw something kind of that I thought was like really cool. Martin Sheen was talking about, because he was like older, you know, the Starkweather, was that it? Stark, yeah, was like 19. I think he was like 25 at the time.
Okay.
Okay.
So he like tried out for it and kind of was under the impression he wasn't going to get it, or he didn't want to try out. And Terrence Malick like told him like, "Oh yeah, I'm considering making him older," and he like offered it to him, and he said like right after because once he read it, he was like, "This is the best screenplay I've ever read," you know, like it's going to be a great film or whatever. And he said like he got the call and he just like pulled over and started crying.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool.
So, did you notice there's an audio motif that plays multiple times throughout the movie? And, yeah, that plays like early on and in the credits, and it sounds like super similar to like a piece from True Romance.
I did not
Did
notice
you hear that? And so it's like,
because it's been a while since I've seen True Romance.
so it also has for me, but for some reason there was this like goofy kind of like track that Hans Zimmer did like for the movie that always like stood out to me. It's very like 80s, kind of like Beverly Hills Cop kind of like thing. And it's also, to me, it sounded like it was the same thing in Badlands, but evidently what it is it's, God, I wrote this in a way I can't even, some guy called like Hassenhauer made this like music album called Schulwerk, and
Shit.
the song they used in Badlands is that, and then Hans Zimmer adapted it also as the main theme of True Romance, to the point of
Wow.
sounding almost, to me it just sounds exactly the same. I'll play it for you all after the fact.
Okay.
But,
Okay,
there's this weird combination, and then it also inspired Patricia Arquette's voiceover in that film. I guess is heavily inspired by this.
I was
Yeah,
thinking there
yeah.
was something kind of True Romancy about it.
Well, you can see that this movie, I don't know if there were multiple movies like this, because it definitely has some like classic, the bad guy, the girl, the road trip, you know, the
Yeah.
killing, and aspects of it are kind of from, I'm curious if it kind of inspired a lot of that sort of
I mean,
stuff.
it's obviously like a Romeo and Juliet, you
Yeah.
know, Bonnie and Clyde.
Almost. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Buffalo 66.
See, I haven't seen it at all.
haven't seen
Oh,
that.
that's really good. But you know, the bad guy with the girl, on a road trip type of thing.
Okay.
Fargo, a little bit,
A little bit. Yeah.
I wasn't getting it too hard, but
just kind of. I found it really funny. Like
I was going to say there were aspects of it that I thought were really funny. She has a catfish in a bowl. Yeah, like that. That was really funny. Early on, when he goes and quits or gets told he's fired
The
from the
garbage truck.
garbage thing, he goes back and he's clearly wants to get violent with the guy. And the guy's like, "I got my dog.
Yeah.
And he goes away. It's just little things. Yeah, it was definitely funny stuff. Or honestly, what kind of made me laugh, also confused me, is when he puts the couple in the little like underground cellar
Yeah.
thing. He's like, "Fuck it," and puts a couple rounds into it. He's like, "I hope I got him." Just there was a point where he, I guess, as a character, kind of committed to like, I'm just gonna start popping people
This
left
is what
and right
we do.
because, like, yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Whoever.
Let me see what other clips I got.
Everybody loves trout.
I remember that. I remember that.
Where
That's
she's all mad.
I meant to send you that. Like, everybody loves trout.
Kid told me to enjoy the scenery, and I did.
Yeah.
We're in for it now. If they catch us.
What a deal we.
Gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I really like
This
it.
sure is getting violent.
Oh yeah, I did have some cool trivia about Sissy Spacek and Jack Fisk. Sissy Spacek, of course, from Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you know her cousin Rip Torn.
I didn't know that. No, of course
Yeah.
not. I love Rip.
Yeah,
shit.
her husband Jack Fisk. He's like a art director and production designer
Okay.
who's worked on films like There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, that's
shit.
cool. He's
well,
like Daredevil's nemesis.
he worked on Carrie. He's worked on I think he worked on Killers of the Flower Moon. He
Okay,
worked on like a lot of
interesting,
big stuff.
Okay.
I bet.
But he's like childhood friends with David Lynch.
Interesting.
And I saw that
circle of
Sissy-
talent there.
Sissy Spacek and Jack Fisk like helped produce Eraserhead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
What a cool circle of
all
friends.
cool stuff.
Interesting
Yeah.
connections there.
Yeah, like I said, I really liked it. Pretty simple story. It's like pretty easy to follow. It's like artsy but not pretentious. I feel like.
No, I definitely wouldn't say it's
You know.
pretentious. Yeah.
And I felt like it was pretty timeless. Like, I didn't realize that it was like supposed to be in the 50s until like they kind of said something that made it like obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like
to be honest,
so.
I didn't
I don't
even.
know
I
that
just
either.
I just assumed it was that's the fucking
70s,
70s.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
really. I guess I didn't think about it.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So in the 50s, people just flew down in a helicopter like that and started popping shots. And those guys that flew down in that helicopter, I'm like, what the fuck agency is that?
Yeah, when he
Oh.
picks up that piece of metal and
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like,
Oh, he has the shield. Yeah, that
Yeah.
got kind of crazy.
and he's like, "Let's go." And she's like, "No."
She's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he gets all mad.
Yeah.
Taking out the dudes in the forest with the booby traps and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it was a little-
even
little
when he's like
Apocalypse
doing the
Now.
little training, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. Like, you really want it to work out for them. I do at least, like
Shit.
and then it's like, oh man, of course it can't end well.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanted it to work out for them, but I was open to being convinced that it was okay if it did. I guess I would
Yeah.
say, I'm cool with rooting for the bad guys occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but he was getting to me near the end, and she was getting to me a little bit too. I'm glad she finally was like, yeah,
Came
this
to her
is too much.
senses.
The helicopter guys are coming down, and we're just picking a mountain to go towards at this
Yeah.
point. That's what
Oh,
worried me more than
the
anything than just
scene-
driving
Yeah.
through.
The scene where he decides like which way to go with the bottle, and he's
Yeah.
like, if I can't choose, I'm not worth a damn.
Yeah, he's like
anyways.
eventually he doesn't like the direction it chose. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll pick a way. Yeah, it was just kind of I
yeah,
don't know.
I really liked it.
Got a new cinema.
I've been listening to this suckfest for the last 30 minutes. Yeah, that's right. I didn't like this film.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fair.
right.
That's
yeah,
fair.
that's right. I wanted Martin Sheen to die the first time
I kind of thought he
saw
would
that little-
actually because I didn't know.
He was a weasel. Man, he's a little weasel. Now the acting is amazing. I get it all. Okay, I get it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it like you guys did. And I didn't think it was a bad
Whoa,
film.
man.
I just
Whoa,
fucking
whoa,
around.
Oh,
didn't
okay,
think it was a bad film.
I was gonna say,
No, I don't think it
open
was a
to,
bad film. But while watching it, the whole time I'm thinking like, man, Martin Sheen's doing a good job making me not like him. Oof.
No, I'm on a similar page as you too.
And
Like
Sissy, I was like,
I don't hate it,
I
but
hate this bitch. Like the whole movie, I'm just like,
I kind of thought that wasn't timeless, to be honest. Like for a chick to be that, I don't think you can
Clueless.
be that dumb anymore.
can't be
so,
that dumb anymore.
Well, that just I don't know if that makes art not timeless, but aspects of that do.
I don't know that I would say she was dumb. She was young.
I also felt
she was
Well,
she was complacent,
yeah,
but she
like
wasn't like active.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like she's in love. Like,
Well, I thought it was a good representation of like life before the internet back then, right? Small town. This
You
chick
definitely
don't-
get away with it. a
where
little
you could
more,
get
yeah.
away with crimes.
Yeah,
get away with shit. Or just
You can't
people
pay
have
$5 to do a background check on this guy
a
real quick
small
on an app.
town mentality. Like she's lives in this small ass world, but like I told you guys earlier, I think like something's going on with this bitch. She got some kind of disorder or some shit. 'Cause just
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh, I think
A little
Terrence
slow.
Malick had another cameo, like when they do like the newsreel footage, like where they're talking about how they're like looking for him.
Oh, yeah.
He was just like pointing
Hanging
at something
out.
or something. Like,
Of course. Pulling the Scorsese.
But where she was just like you would think we were like the Russians or something. Like,
Yeah, I guess I didn't even really hear that.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go 90. I don't know.
Damn.
I can't
okay.
think of anything that's like where I would like take a point away. So just for safety's sake, I'm gonna go 90.
I'll go next. I'll just be honest, man. This movie wasn't really for me. But I liked it, but I didn't really like. As I was watching it, not hearing you guys talk about it, it makes it a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. But as I was watching it,
Kind of a common theme here.
yeah, I like to hear other people's thoughts.
Yeah,
about
for
it,
sure, for sure.
Because it might make me rewatch it with a different like veneer to it. But the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, I didn't know it was based on a real story either.
Well,
So
more
I
just
I
more
didn't know
just
until
inspired,
afterwards.
more just
Inspired,
inspired
yeah, it's
by
not
a
like
group
a
of murders. I don't
one
think
by
there's a lot of
one.
details that are shared.
Well,
too
but
hard.
it was like a guy and a girl, and like
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
go on
yeah.
a killing spree. I think he did kill her parents.
Okay.
You know, she did like,
Go
you know,
along with
she
it.
did like give herself
yeah,
up.
yeah,
You know, he did get electrocuted or
nice.
yeah, he did get like capital punishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah, with
did
the old
in
Zapparoo.
Did
Yeah.
I see something? I think I read something. It was a trivia piece about like Martin Sheen's character just doesn't stop talking or something like that. Like that's his thing or some shit. I don't know. But I give it about a 70. I think I'll give it a 70.
I'm not mad
This
at
is
that.
not a bad film by
Nice
any
little,
means.
nice little 20-point
yeah,
gap.
cut- yeah, cut
I'm not
from-
that.
yeah.
I'm not sure I'm that far off from you. I guess I liked it, but I kind of went into it sort of weird in that I don't really seen. I kind of almost wanted it to be weirder because of like having seen Tree of Life, and then Thin Red Line is also a weird movie because
That's
it's like
the
a
war
World
one.
War
Yeah.
II movie, but it's also just these guys like in ditches like waxing philosophical with each other. It's still like one of his first things where he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get kind of philosophical with it and sort of lean into that. I wanted
And
it
I guess
to like,
Days of Heaven is the one that's more Texas.
that's the
'Cause
one
I
after
thought
this.
this
I
one
think.
was more Texas, but I
I
wasn't.
think that one's
I wasn't
like
mad.
his more like people talk about that more as like his like traditional kind of classic. That's like more his normal stuff mixed in with like this. I just heard about that one a lot specifically. But I don't know. I liked it, but just it was sometimes it was funny, but then it wouldn't be very funny. No, it was like kind of weird, but it wouldn't get too weird. I don't know. And I thought it shows its age a little bit personally, just with the voiceover and the way just some of the characters are allowed to behave. I feel like writing was still like they're still trying to figure out what people would really like. I guess
Like early 70s.
I don't
yeah,
know. I
identify
gotta,
with
with the
or-
voiceover particularly. I feel like I like this voiceover more than any other voiceover. You know, like
I guess maybe I don't really
That was
love
actually a point.
voiceovers though. I think might be it.
like
too.
I generally don't, but I did like it in this movie.
Yeah.
But we agree to disagree.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna fight you to the death after this, but we'll agree right now. No, I didn't hate the voiceover, but just aspects. Sometimes I'd hear it and I'd be like, all right, here we go again. You know, here's
Shut
this,
up already.
yeah, shut the fuck up. We get it.
Kid pulled his
Yeah.
dick out and it
He's-
looked like a shriveled
I used to love him, but then he murdered 500 people in front of me, including my dad. I hope he's doing okay.
I don't even listen to him anymore when he's
I'm gonna be waiting for him when he gets out.
Yeah, my pussy
No,
feels bad.
Yeah.
I don't think she said that, but okay.
He didn't shoot me with the gun, but he made me suck it. I don't know. It was just. It was weird, man. To me, she was a little hard to deal with. It was a cool acting performance, and she definitely.
Yeah, clueless teenager.
To me, it was a little bit more believable to just really like put her down and be like, oh, it was almost more believable to be just like, God damn, you know, she's like, maybe she's got problems. Maybe the situation where her dad was kind of fucking crazy. Because it did seem like he was willing to get a little violent. And he killed her dog. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
I felt like that made it like
so
a little
like there
more.
are things where I kind of get it,
little,
but even then, he didn't. He's not the only one that got blown away.
Yeah,
you know,
he was just the first.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. So there was
even
a point,
the friend who's just like running.
So I was on top of it. Yeah. I was on top of. I was on board for a long time. I guess it just kind of outstayed its welcome with some of the stuff in regards to like me suspending my disbelief for like her behavior in like the real world. But also, it's it's an old time and it's an older film, and it also represents an older time where maybe you could like. It takes a while to get you if you just keep moving and blasting dudes, and maybe you can convince some poor girl to go on a run with you.
All they had was those dogs and shit.
And like we said earlier, there was like the devotion of like being someone's first or whatever when like it's a young lady like that and some older guy, and y'all had sex and she's gonna feel devoted to you.
There's
know,
power.
or at least
over
that's
there.
the situation, especially.
Yeah.
So it's believable, but I don't know. I guess it just didn't vibe with me in kind of a similar way with you. I just didn't love it.
That's fair.
But still think it's worth seeing, and I'd recommend someone watch it. I don't know if I'd say I recommend someone watch it if they like. It depends on what you've seen from Terrence Malick. If like this is your thing, or
I mean, I would say like if you like traditional structures in movies, I would say like maybe watch this one before like,
Tree of Life or something.
Or, like,
it's just a very different kind of vibe to it.
His rebirth.
Yeah. I'll give it. I'll tie it with Proposition. I think they kind of sit in a similar place for me. I know that kind of sounds weird because I didn't talk about Proposition a little bit more positively, but it kind of just it's sort of a similar thing to me where neither one went in quite as far of any direction as I want them to go with like the things they're trying to accomplish. And so I'll give it a 78. I mean,
78.
Yeah, I mean it's still a cool movie to see. It looks good. It has great acting. But yeah, I don't want to jump right back in necessarily. I'll watch it again in maybe 5 years.
Okay. That's
and
respectable. Yeah.
But there are definitely circumstances where I'd recommend it to somebody.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah.
I've already recommended it to several people.
Yeah, you recommended it to us.
Look at you.
Well, I hadn't seen it,
I know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I think good movies this week. Now I have something to say. Okay. Didn't like this movie as much as you got. Well, but I don't think
That's
it was
okay.
like I said, I don't think it was a bad film. I don't think it was badly directed, badly wrote, anything. Some movies just the story I don't want to see again, or a character is annoying to me.
Yeah.
Like Kit.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If I knew Kit in real life,
Or put him
or
down.
even fucking Sissy Spacek. I'm like, man, get this dumb broad from around me.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think they did their job.
I didn't necessarily find them annoying, like in a way where it's like I can't enjoy watching them. Like
not in a way that degrades from the film. In a way that's
like
believable.
I think Kit had this like, he's this murderous type of maniac, and I think that's always like
narcissist ass weirdo.
Like those type of people are always good on screen. Because it's like they're interesting, and you want to see, like something that like what makes that type of person tick. You
also can't handle seeing that in real life. You don't want to be friends with that dude for real. You want to have that experience as escapist art.
Yeah, exactly. So but I think it's also like a thing where it's like there are parts of people that's like you wanted to like do something to someone, maybe not kill them, but like just to like show them like I'm not messing around. You know what I mean? Like like you felt small or whatever and like wanted to get revenge. So it's like
extremeness of that thought. He actually just does
like,
it.
He's just on the other end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I see what that. I guess like
it's like when you watch a documentary about a serial killer. It's like it's so fascinating because there is something. It's like you're not that, but he's human still. You know what I mean? Like there's something that connects you.
And there's no consequence to learning about it either.
It might be something relatable.
Yeah.
Well, I guess with Kit, it just wasn't, to me, I didn't see a deeper meaning to all of his murders. It's just like, oh, this guy's in my way.
Exactly.
It's a tricky thing, I guess, to get annoyed by like a performance or like a character less than an actor in a movie, because it's
Yeah.
not the performance that was annoying.
No,
It's,
he's like
in
a
the sense
great-
it's the actual guy. The performance
he's
is good
playing.
enough.
Yeah.
And it's weird to, I guess it's weird to look at that and get annoyed, because it's not like I watch like No Country for Old Men and I'm like, oh, Anton Chigurh, that guy pissed me off. He keeps murdering people. Instead, I'm like, this guy he fucking rocks.
rules.
Yeah. So it's a little unfair, because like this guy, I'm like, man, get him the fuck out of here. It keeps, but I think I guess that's kind of the point, though. I mean, he is sort of grating, you know. He isn't cool to really anyone but her.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I guess maybe that's the
He
thing.
doesn't.
He's kind of a
that's
loser.
cool. That's kind of. It's like they don't care about anyone except for themselves.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just-
kind of a loser, but
it's
you give him
the
a
two of
gun,
the-
he can
and
win.
I do think it's like
Hell yeah.
there's like something kind of like, for me at least, like you can aspire to like just you and your chick against the world. You know what I mean? Like there's something kind of, there's so much that's like cool about it that it's just like, you know, it's not a very complicated story. You know what I mean?
I did also like it takes place in the 50s, but even at the time, the 70s, there was still the hope of like, you know, if you got in a car and started crossing state lines, it's not like
You're
not getting
good.
pinged on your,
You're
like, you're not
good.
sharing your fucking,
Your fucking
location with
cell
your
phone
mom.
signal,
You know,
you know
you're
what I
not
mean?
like checking in. Like, it's like if you just played it, they probably could have been so much more chill about
If they just stopped with the
disappeared.
dad and like,
I think
you know,
I think
like-
that
Wait, didn't they drive across the desert too?
that's the thing. Yeah, there's a
that
point where
shit
they're
was
literally
wild,
just cutting
bro.
through the desert, like
that.
picking.
There's an awesome car chase scene where
Yeah.
it's like just like the dirt flying everywhere, and he flips the cop car.
I would say though, if you can build a treehouse of that quality, you
Bro.
could have done anything, man. Wasted
Yeah.
talent. You should just. I would have gone somewhere else, built that treehouse again, and you know.
I just know they smelled like straight
Well,
ass.
yeah, well, there's nothing to do out there in the desert.
Just sex and ass.
Yeah, for sure,
Ugh,
for
must.
sure.
Okay.
But yeah, until
Badlands, probably.
next time.
Till next time on.
What a little piece of filth.
My arse still love me.
Kid told me to enjoy the scenery, and I did.